Belgium called to me, not with shouts, but with a quiet promise, rain-slicked cobblestones, ancient secrets, and the scent of chocolate and waffles. I packed not just clothes, but hopes, ready to trade the familiar for the unknown, eager to let Belgium reveal its magic. Join me as I step into this fairy tale land, chasing the gentle adventure that first whispered to my heart. Most rush through Belgium, but I wanted to linger, to see the soul behind the headlines and the heart beneath the politics. Belgium is a crossroads, where languages, cultures, and histories collide, creating a mosaic richer than any single landmark. Its art, architecture, and countryside are treasures for those who look closer. My mission to uncover the real Belgium, beyond the postcards, and find stories worth keeping. Belgium's streets are living history, castles, cathedrals, and canals echoing with centuries of drama and resilience. Each region, Flanders, Wallonia, Brussels, offers its own language, flavor, and story, woven together by a shared spirit. I came not just to see, but to feel the past and become part of Belgium's ongoing tale. I craved more than chocolate and fries. I wanted to taste tradition, witness festivals, and see art in every corner. From comic murals to masked carnivals, Belgium's creativity and folklore called to my curiosity. Most of all, I hoped to connect with Belgians themselves, their stories, laughter, and pride. On departure day, excitement buzzed in every detail, from my packed bags to the airport's hum. As the plane lifted, I left routine behind, heart racing toward the unknown and the promise of discovery. The adventure had begun. Belgium awaited, ready to share its secrets. The flight itself was surprisingly short. I had barely finished my drink and a small snack when the captain's voice came over the intercom, announcing our descent into Brussels. I checked my watch in disbelief. It had been only 45 minutes. For some reason, I had imagined a longer flight, a more significant transition between my home and this new destination. It seemed almost comical that a country with such a rich history and deep culture could be reached so quickly. It felt less like an international flight and more like a short bus ride to a neighboring town. This was my first Belgian surprise, and it made me smile. As the plane descended through the clouds, I pressed my face against the window, eager for my first look at the country. Below me, a landscape of neat green fields, dotted with small towns and winding roads, stretched out to the horizon. It looked peaceful and orderly, a calm and inviting land. The short flight had a strange effect on me. It made Belgium feel incredibly close and accessible, not like a distant foreign land, but like a friendly neighbor I was finally going to visit. The initial feeling of a grand, far-off adventure was replaced by a sense of intimacy and familiarity. It was a wonderful and unexpected shift in perspective. Stepping off the plane and into Brussels airport, I was immediately struck by the multilingual signs and announcements. French, Dutch, German, and English all mingled in the air, a clear and immediate sign that I had arrived at the crossroads of Europe. It was exciting. The airport was modern and efficient, and I moved through passport control and baggage claim with ease. But despite the modern surroundings, I could already feel a different rhythm, a different pace of life. The short flight had been a reminder that big adventures do not always require long journeys. Sometimes a whole new world is waiting just a short hop away. And so, my endless journey to Belgium began with a 45-minute flight. It was a perfect, slightly absurd start to my adventure. It taught me my first lesson before I had even left the airport. Do not have too many expectations and be open to surprises. Belgium was already showing me that it was a country of delightful contrasts, a place where grand history and humble charm live side by side, and where a world of discovery could be much closer than you think. With my suitcase in hand and a sense of amusement in my heart, I walked out of the airport doors and into the Belgian air, ready for whatever came next. My adventure in Belgium began in vibrant Brussels, a city where grand history meets quirky modern life. Stepping onto cobblestone streets, I felt the city's energy. Trams rumbling, languages mingling, art brightening every corner. Getting a little lost led me to hidden squares, inviting cafes and friendly locals. I paused to enjoy a street musician's melody, feeling welcomed by Brussels' charm and warmth. As the sun set, I knew this city was full of stories waiting to be discovered. No visit to Brussels is complete without seeing the Grand Place. I'd seen photos, but nothing prepared me for the breathtaking reality. Stepping into the square at night, it felt like entering a treasure chest lined with gold. The town hall's spire soared above, surrounded by glowing guild halls. The atmosphere was magical, filled with wonder and reverence. The Grand Place, glowing in the night, is the dazzling heart of Brussels, a memory I'll never forget. Brussels' playful spirit shines through its quirky statues, especially the famous mannequin Pis, a tiny boy with a big reputation. He's often dressed in costumes, making everyone smile. Nearby, I found Janneke Pis and Zinneke Pis, a girl and a dog, each adding to the city's cheeky charm. These statues reveal Brussels' sense of humor and make exploring its hidden corners unforgettable. Arriving in Ghent, I felt a rebellious, youthful energy in the air. The city's medieval canals, vibrant street life, and creative spirit made it feel authentic and alive. Ghent's blend of old and new, its relaxed atmosphere, and its independent soul quickly captured my heart. This is a city with substance and charm. Dominating Ghent's skyline, the Gravenstein is a castle straight out of A Knight's Tale. Stone walls, towers, and a moat right in the city's heart. Crossing the bridge, I felt transported back in time. From the rooftop, Ghent spread out below me, a breathtaking view. The Gravenstein isn't just a landmark, it's the soul of Ghent, a symbol of its resilient spirit. Ghent is woven together by rivers and canals, with the River Leia flowing through its historic heart. Walking along the water's edge, I admired shimmering reflections and medieval architecture. A boat tour revealed hidden stories and peaceful scenes, showing how life here flows in harmony with the water. Ghent's waterways are its soul. Leaving the vibrant energy of Ghent behind, I journeyed to Bruges, a city that is famous for being one of the most well-preserved medieval towns in Europe. From the moment I stepped out of the train station and started my walk towards the historic center, I felt as though I had been transported into the pages of a fairy tale. The city is a masterpiece of Gothic architecture, with cobblestone lanes, tranquil canals, and charming gabled houses at every turn. It was almost too perfect to be real. The air was filled with the gentle clopping of horses' hooves as they pulled carriages full of visitors, adding to the enchanting old-world atmosphere. My hotel was a small family-run place in a converted historic house, overlooking one of the quieter canals. My room had a wooden beamed ceiling and a window that opened up to a view of swans gliding gracefully on the water below. It was pure magic. I spent my first afternoon doing what Bruges inspires you to do best, getting lost. I wandered aimlessly through the maze of narrow streets, each one more picturesque than the last. I discovered hidden gardens, ancient stone bridges, and tiny chocolate shops whose windows were filled with exquisite, handmade creations. The city felt like a living museum, but a warm and welcoming one. One of the most charming spots I found was the Beguinage, or Beguinov, a peaceful enclosed community that was once home to Beguines, a group of lay religious women. Walking through its gate was like entering another world. The complex consists of small whitewashed houses surrounding a tranquil green lawn dotted with tall poplar trees. The silence was profound, broken only by the sound of birdsong. It was a place of deep serenity and contemplation, a perfect escape from the bustling crowds in the main squares. I sat on a bench for a long time, soaking in the peaceful atmosphere and feeling grateful for this little pocket of calm. As evening descended upon Bruges, the city became even more magical. The buildings were softly illuminated, their reflections dancing on the dark water of the canals. The crowds thinned out, and a romantic quiet settled over the streets. Walking through the city at night felt like having it all to myself. The fairy tale feeling intensified, and I half expected a knight in shining armor to come riding around the corner. Bruges is a city that captures your imagination and holds it tight. It is a place of undeniable beauty and romance, a city that truly lives up to its reputation as the Venice of the North. In the heart of Bruges stands the magnificent belfry, soaring above the market square. Climbing its winding steps was a challenge, but the view from the top was unforgettable. A breathtaking panorama of red roofs, winding canals, and medieval streets. That sea of red roofs under the vast Belgian sky is a memory I'll cherish forever. Walking through Bruges is a joy, but seeing it from the water is magical. Gliding along the canals, ancient bridges and hidden gardens reveal a quieter side of the city. Swans drift by, their white feathers bright against the dark water. The gentle sounds of water and distant bells create a peaceful melody. This serene journey is Bruges at its most enchanting. Belgium's unique character is shaped by its three official languages: French, Dutch, and German. In Brussels, bilingual signs and conversations are everywhere. Travel north to Flanders and Dutch dominates. Head south to Wallonia and French takes over. This linguistic diversity isn't a barrier. It's a bridge making Belgium endlessly fascinating. In Belgium, I noticed a quiet reserve. Polite, thoughtful, never unfriendly. Service is efficient, but small talk is rare. Belgians value privacy and calm, but once you show respect, their warmth shines through. It's a culture of subtle kindness, humility, and quiet pride, qualities I came to deeply appreciate. One of the most joyful and unexpected discoveries I made in Belgium was the country's deep and abiding love for comic strips, or bande dessinées. This is not just a children's pastime here. It is a respected art form, a significant part of the national cultural identity. I was, of course, familiar with famous Belgian creations like Tintin and the Smurfs, but I had no idea how deeply they were woven into the fabric of daily life. In Brussels, I embarked on the comic strip route, a fantastic walk that took me through the city streets in search of huge, colorful murals featuring beloved comic characters. Each mural was a burst of joy, transforming a plain building wall into a vibrant work of art. This passion for the ninth art, as it is often called, is celebrated everywhere. I visited the Belgian Comic Strip Center, housed in a magnificent Art Nouveau building designed by Victor Horta. It was a fantastic museum that paid serious tribute to the creativity and skill of Belgian artists. It traced the history of the art form from its early beginnings to the present day, showcasing original drawings and telling the stories behind iconic characters. Seeing the original artwork for Tintin's Adventures, created by Herge, was a genuinely moving experience. It was clear that these stories and characters are a source of immense national pride, cherished by people of all ages. The obsession extends far beyond museums and murals. I found specialist comic book shops in every city I visited, and they were not dusty, niche stores, but bright, bustling places filled with customers from young children to serious adult collectors. These shops were like treasure troves, with shelves piled high with beautifully produced graphic novels covering every imaginable genre, from historical epics and science fiction to slice-of-life dramas and political satire. It was a powerful reminder that comic strips in Belgium are a sophisticated and diverse medium for storytelling, capable of expressing complex ideas and emotions with incredible artistic flair. This national love affair with comic strips reveals something wonderful about the Belgian soul. It speaks to a powerful imagination, a playful spirit, and a unique way of looking at the world. It shows a culture that values storytelling and visual art, and that is not afraid to embrace things that are fun and whimsical. Following the trail of Tintin and his friends became a delightful theme for my journey. adding a layer of playful adventure to my explorations. It was a colorful and happy thread that ran through my entire visit, and it gave me a special appreciation for this creative and wonderfully quirky aspect of Belgian life. The Burgundian mentality is at the heart of Belgian culture, a love for good food, drink, and sharing them with friends and family. It's about savoring life's pleasures, whether in a bustling restaurant or a cozy home. This spirit of warmth and generosity is the delicious beating heart of Belgium. To truly feel the pulse of a Belgian town, you must visit its local market. Nearly every city and village has a weekly market day, and it is an event that brings the entire community together. I made a point of visiting as many as I could, and honestly, each one was a vibrant and colorful spectacle. The air would be filled with a wonderful mix of smells: fresh flowers, ripe cheeses, savory rotisserie chickens, and sweet pastries. The stalls were piled high with beautiful produce, from gleaming red peppers and earthy mushrooms to locally grown apples and pears. It was, well, a feast for the senses, and a wonderful way to see the pride Belgians take in their local products. These markets are much more than just places to shop. They are the social heart of the community. I loved watching the interactions between the vendors and their customers. There was a friendly, familiar atmosphere, with people greeting each other by name, catching up on local news, and sharing a joke. Friends would bump into each other and decide to have a coffee or a glass of wine at one of the pop-up bars that are a common feature of the markets. It felt like a weekly celebration of community life, a tradition that strengthened the bonds between neighbors. It was a living, breathing display of the social fabric of the town. Even more fascinating were the brocantes, or flea markets, which are a national obsession. On weekends, especially in the summer, you can find these sprawling markets in towns and cities across the country. I spent a wonderful Sunday morning wandering through the famous brocante at the Place du Jeu de Ballet in Brussels. It was a chaotic and magical treasure hunt. The square was crammed with stalls selling everything you could possibly imagine: old furniture, vintage clothing, dusty books, quirky paintings, antique silverware, and forgotten toys. Each object seemed to have a story, a secret history waiting to be discovered by a curious new owner. Exploring these markets, both for food and for second-hand treasures, gave me a wonderful insight into the Belgian way of life. It showed me a culture that values quality, tradition, and community. It also revealed a love for things with a past, an appreciation for history, and the stories that objects carry with them. The brocantes, in particular, felt like a perfect metaphor for Belgium itself, a place where countless different items from different eras are jumbled together, creating a whole that is quirky, interesting, and full of unexpected charm. My pockets were often lighter after these visits, but my heart was always full. Belgium is a country that loves a good celebration, and its calendar is packed with local festivals or kermesses that are steeped in centuries of folklore and tradition. These are not slick commercial events for tourists. They are deeply felt community celebrations that connect the present with the distant past. I was incredibly lucky that my visit coincided with a local festival in a small Flemish town. The highlight of the event was the Procession of Giants, a tradition that is recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of intangible cultural heritage. I watched in awe as enormous, beautifully crafted figures of giants, representing historical or legendary figures, were paraded through the streets. The atmosphere was honestly electric. The whole town had turned out to watch, from grandparents to tiny children sitting on their parents' shoulders. Bands played loud, cheerful music, and the crowd cheered as each giant, carried by a team of hidden men, danced and swayed its way down the narrow streets. The giants were magnificent, some several meters tall, dressed in elaborate costumes and with expressive painted faces. They were accompanied by people in historical dress, on horseback, and in decorated floats. It felt like the entire town's history was marching past me in a vibrant, noisy, and joyful parade. It was a truly unforgettable spectacle of living folklore. These festivals are a powerful expression of local identity and pride. Each town has its own unique traditions, its own giants, its own stories that are celebrated year after year. Participating in this event even just as a spectator, made me feel a deep connection to the place and its people. I could see the pride in their eyes as they pointed out their favorite giant to their children. These traditions are passed down from generation to generation, forming a strong, unbroken chain of community memory. It is a way for the town to remember who they are and where they come from, reinforcing their collective identity in a world that is constantly changing. The experience taught me that to understand Belgian culture, you have to look beyond the big cities and famous museums. The true soul of the country is often found in these smaller local celebrations. They reveal a culture that has a deep respect for its past, a love of storytelling, and a strong sense of community spirit. It was a privilege to witness such a unique and ancient tradition. The image of those gentle giants dancing through the cobblestone streets, surrounded by the happy faces of the townspeople, is one of the most powerful and joyful memories I have of my entire journey through this enchanting country. On my last evening in Belgium, I found myself in what is known as a brown cafe or Bruin cafe. These are traditional, old-fashioned pubs, named for their dark wood interiors and walls stained brown by decades of smoke. They are cozy, unpretentious places, the kind of neighborhood institution where locals have been gathering for generations. The air was thick with the smell of old wood, spilled beer, and good cheer. I found a small table in a corner, ordered a local beer recommended by the friendly bartender, and simply sat and watched the gentle rhythm of the evening unfold around me. It felt like the perfect place to reflect on my journey. After a little while, an older gentleman who was sitting alone at the next table caught my eye and gave me a friendly nod. Encouraged by his open expression, I smiled back and we soon struck up a conversation. His name was Jean-Pierre, and he had been coming to this same cafe for over 40 years. He spoke with a gentle wisdom and a wonderful dry wit. He asked me where I was from and what I thought of his country. I told him about my travels, about the cities and the countryside, the food and the festivals, and about my attempts to understand the complex culture and the reserved but warm nature of the people. Jean-Pierre listened patiently, a thoughtful expression on his face. He told me that Belgians are like their famous chocolates, sometimes a little hard on the outside, but with a rich and sweet center once you get to know them. He spoke of his pride in his country's artistic heritage and its ability to create beautiful things, but also of its modesty and its tendency to be overlooked on the world stage. We talked for over an hour about everything from politics and history to the importance of a perfectly poured beer. It was not a profound or life-changing conversation, but it was honest, warm, and deeply human. That conversation with Jean-Pierre in the cozy brown cafe was the perfect culmination of my quest to understand Belgian culture and its people. It brought everything I had observed and experienced into focus. His words confirmed my impressions of a nation that is humble yet proud, reserved yet warm, and deeply appreciative of the simple pleasures of life. As I left the cafe and walked out into the cool night air, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. I had come to Belgium as a stranger, a curious visitor, but I was leaving with a genuine affection and a much deeper understanding of this small but remarkable country and its wonderful, multifaceted people. After the wonderful chaos of the cities, I longed for something quieter and greener. Leaving the cobblestones behind, I drove into the Belgian countryside. The landscape opened up, rolling hills, peaceful fields, tidy farms, and village spires. With the windows down, I breathed in the calm, letting the gentle rhythm of rural Belgium slow me down. The Ardennes is a world apart from northern Belgium. High forested hills, deep valleys, and ancient woods steeped in legend. There's a wild, mysterious feeling here, as if knights or fairy tale creatures might appear at any moment. In Derby, the smallest city in the world, old stone houses cluster by the river, peaceful and timeless. From the hilltops, endless green forests stretch to the horizon, a land of beauty, history, and quiet wonder. From the green tranquility of the Ardennes, I traveled north to the fields of Flanders. Here, peaceful landscapes hide a tragic history. These fields saw some of the most brutal fighting of the First World War. At Tynecott Cemetery, endless rows of white headstones mark lives lost and futures broken. Walking through preserved trenches, I glimpsed the hardship soldiers endured. The last post ceremony at Menin Gate honors over 54,000 with no known grave. My visit to Flanders Fields was sobering, teaching me the true meaning of sacrifice and remembrance. Winding its way through the heart of Wallonia is the magnificent Meuse River. For a significant part of my countryside journey, I decided to follow its path, just driving along the scenic roads that hug its banks. The Meuse Valley is a place of dramatic and breathtaking beauty. On one side of the river, imposing limestone cliffs rise up dramatically, their pale rock faces topped with lush green forest. On the other side, the landscape is gentler, with green meadows and charming towns and villages nestled by the water's edge. The river itself is wide and majestic, its surface reflecting the changing colors of the sky. It was a constantly beautiful and engaging companion on my drive. One of the highlights of the valley is the city of Dinant. It has one of the most stunning settings I have ever seen. The town is squeezed into a narrow strip of land between the Meuse River and a sheer rock cliff. Perched on top of this cliff is a formidable fortress, the Citadel, which seems to stand guard over the town below. The most iconic building is the Collegiate Church of Notre Dame, with its unique and striking onion-shaped dome. I took a cable car up to the Citadel and was rewarded with a spectacular panoramic view of the river snaking its way through the valley. It was a view that truly took my breath away. Further along the river, I discovered beautiful castles and grand country estates that spoke of the region's wealthy past. One of the most enchanting was the Gardens of Annavois, a magnificent 18th century water garden. I spent a whole afternoon wandering through this magical place, with its elegant fountains, waterfalls, and serene ponds, all powered by a clever system of natural gravity. It was a masterpiece of landscape design, a perfect blend of French formality, Italian romance, and English naturalism. The sound of running water was everywhere, creating a wonderfully soothing and meditative atmosphere. It was a perfect place to escape and dream for a while. My journey along the Meuse River was a wonderful exploration of the relationship between people and their landscape. The river has shaped the region's history, providing a route for trade, a source of power, and a line of defense. The towns, castles, and gardens along its banks are a testament to its importance. For me, it was simply a source of constant beauty and inspiration. Driving alongside it, walking its banks, and gazing down upon it from a cliff-top fortress, I felt a deep connection to the steady, powerful flow of this great European river and the beautiful, life-giving valley it has created. For my final countryside adventure, I journeyed to the High Fens Eifel Nature Park in eastern Belgium. This wild, hauntingly beautiful landscape felt like the edge of the world. Walking the boardwalks, I was surrounded by ancient moors, shifting light and absolute silence. The High Fens revealed Belgium's wild heart, a place for awe, reflection, and wonder. As my time in the Belgian countryside came to a close, I found a quiet spot on a hillside overlooking a peaceful valley. I sat on the soft grass, with the warmth of the late afternoon sun on my face, and took a moment to reflect on everything I had seen and felt. My journey through the green heart of Belgium had been just as enriching and fascinating as my time in its famous cities. It had been a journey of incredible contrasts, taking me from the dense, legendary forests of the Ardennes to the flat, poignant fields of Flanders, and from the charming stone villages of Wallonia to the wild open moors of the High Fens. This journey had taught me that the soul of a country is often found in its quiet places, away from the hustle and bustle. The countryside revealed a different side of the Belgian character. I saw a deep connection to the land, a respect for history, and a love for the simple, enduring beauty of nature. I met farmers, hikers, and village residents who showed me a quiet pride in their region and a warm, down-to-earth hospitality. These encounters were just as meaningful as the conversations I had in the grand cafes of Brussels or Ghent. They were simpler, perhaps, but they felt rooted in something deep and authentic. What I will remember most is the feeling of peace that followed me throughout my rural travels. It was there in the silence of a forest trail, in the gentle flow of the Meuse River, and in the profound quiet of a war cemetery. The Belgian countryside offered me space to breathe, to think, and to connect with the world on a more fundamental level. It was a journey that slowed me down and reminded me of the importance of nature in our lives. It was a beautiful counterpoint to the cultural richness of the cities, providing a sense of balance and completeness to my Belgian adventure. As the sun began to dip towards the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. I was grateful for the beauty of the landscapes, for the stories the land had told me, and for the moments of quiet reflection it had given me. The countryside had shown me the resilience of nature, the weight of history, and the enduring charm of a simple rural life. It was the perfect middle act in my Belgian story, a peaceful interlude that cleansed my palate and prepared me for the final delicious act of my journey, a deep dive into the wonderful world of Belgian food. My journey through Belgium led me to its heart, the table. Here, food is joy, pride, and tradition, shared by all, from bustling street stalls to cozy cafes. Every bite, from golden fries to rich chocolate, is a celebration of the Burgundian spirit. I was ready to savor it all. In Belgium, street food is a celebration. Waffles, fries, and mayonnaise are the holy trinity. Whether it's a caramelized Liège waffle or golden fries double-fried and served in a paper cone, these treats are more than snacks. With creamy mayonnaise and endless sauces, they're a delicious symbol of Belgian pride and community. To enter a Belgian chocolate shop is to step into a world of pure magic. The air is thick with the rich, intoxicating scent of cocoa, and the counters are lined with exquisite jewels. These are not just chocolates, they are works of art, meticulously crafted by master chocolatiers. I spent an entire afternoon in Bruges, which is often called the chocolate capital of the world, just wandering from one beautiful shop to another. Each one had its own unique style, from traditional family-run businesses to modern, innovative boutiques. I watched through a window as a chocolatier carefully filled delicate chocolate shells, his movements precise and graceful, like a surgeon or a painter. The most iconic Belgian chocolate creation is the praline, which was invented in Brussels in 1912 by Jean Neuhaus Jr. It was a revolutionary idea, a hard chocolate shell filled with a soft, flavored center. This simple invention opened up a whole universe of possibilities. I bought a small, elegant box called a ballotin and chose a selection to try. There were just so many flavors to choose from: smooth ganaches, nutty pralines, fruity caramels, and adventurous combinations with spices and herbs. Each one was a tiny explosion of flavor and texture, a perfect balance of the crisp shell and the luscious, melting filling. It was an experience of pure, sophisticated indulgence. I learned that the secret to Belgian chocolate's world-renowned quality lies in a deep-seated commitment to excellence. The chocolatiers use only the finest ingredients, including high-quality cocoa beans, pure cocoa butter, and fresh cream. They follow traditional methods that have been perfected over generations, but they are also not afraid to innovate and experiment. This blend of tradition and creativity is what keeps Belgian chocolate at the forefront of the industry. It is a source of immense national pride, a delicious ambassador that represents the country's dedication to craftsmanship, quality, and the art of making beautiful things. My journey through the world of Belgian chocolate was more than just a sweet-tooth tour. It was an appreciation of a true national art form. It taught me about patience, precision, and the pursuit of perfection. Holding a beautifully crafted praline in my hand, I understood that it represented centuries of knowledge and a deep passion for creating moments of happiness. Like the country's art and architecture, its chocolate is a testament to the Belgian ability to turn simple ingredients into something truly extraordinary. It is a delicious legacy that is meant to be savored, shared, and remembered long after the last bite has melted away. If chocolate is Belgium's art, then beer is its religion. With over 1,000 varieties, Belgian beer is a world of its own. Trappist ales, fruity lambics, and rich doubles. Each glass tells a story, connecting people and culture. Here, beer is more than a drink. It's a way of life. While fries and waffles are Belgian icons, the true heart of the cuisine lies in comforting classics like carbonade flamande, beef stew with dark beer, and moles frites, mussels with fries. Each region offers its own specialties, but all share a love for hearty, generous meals made to be shared. These dishes are the edible soul of Belgium, warm, satisfying, and best enjoyed with good company. Just when I thought I had exhausted Belgium's sweet offerings with its waffles and chocolates, I discovered a whole new world of other delightful treats. One of the most ubiquitous and beloved is the speculoos biscuit. This thin, crunchy, spiced short crust biscuit is a national obsession. It has a distinctive flavor of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and caramelized sugar. It is traditionally served alongside a cup of coffee in every cafe. A small, simple gesture of hospitality. But its popularity does not stop there. I found speculoos-flavored ice cream, speculoos-flavored chocolate, and most dangerously, jars of creamy speculoos spread, a delicious alternative to peanut butter or chocolate spread. Another uniquely Belgian sweet I discovered at a market in Ghent was the couberdon. These cone-shaped raspberry-flavored candies have a hard outer shell and a soft, gooey syrup-like filling. They are also known as nuzekis, or little noses, because of their shape. They have a very short shelf life as the inside begins to crystallize after a few weeks, which is why they are rarely found outside of Belgium. Biting into one was a unique experience, the crackle of the thin shell followed by the rush of sweet, fruity syrup. It was a fun and quirky local specialty that felt like a secret shared only with those who visit. In the bakeries, or patisseries, I found a dazzling array of cakes and pastries that showcased the skill of Belgian bakers. One morning I treated myself to a matin tart, a small round puff pastry tart filled with a curd made from milk, eggs, and almonds. It was light, flaky, and not too sweet. A specialty from the city of Geraardsbergen that is so prized it has protected geographical status. I also sampled pain à la grecque, which, despite its name meaning Greek bread, is a Brussels specialty. It is a simple rectangular pastry sprinkled with crunchy pearl sugar, its name coming from a corruption of the local dialect word for ditch. These sweet interludes were a delightful part of my culinary exploration. They were the little treats that filled the gaps between big meals, the small moments of pleasure that punctuated my days. From the humble speculoos biscuit to the obscure couberdon and the elegant pastries, these sweets revealed a culture that finds joy in both simple traditions and refined craftsmanship. They were a reminder that in Belgium, a little bit of sweetness is never far away, always ready to brighten your day and offer a small, delicious taste of the country's rich culinary heritage. It was a sweet journey of discovery, one bite at a time. My culinary journey through Belgium was coming to an end, but the flavors and experiences had left an indelible mark on my memory. For my final meal, I did not seek out something new and extravagant. Instead, I returned to a small family-run restaurant I had discovered, a place that embodied the warmth and generosity of the Belgian spirit. I ordered a simple, classic dish, savoring each bite and reflecting on the incredible feast of the past few days. Tasting Belgium had been about so much more than just food. It had been a delicious and deeply satisfying way to understand the country's culture, history, and people. Every dish I tasted told a story. The double-fried frites spoke of a humble pride and a dedication to perfection. The exquisite pralines whispered tales of artistry and innovation. The complex Trappist ales were a testament to centuries of quiet devotion and tradition. The hearty, beer-laced stews told of a need for warmth and comfort in a country with long, grey winters. The food was a language, and I had joyfully learned to understand its grammar and dialects, from the salty tang of the coast to the earthy richness of the Ardennes forests. It was a conversation that engaged all my senses. What I will carry with me most is the memory of the atmosphere in which the food was enjoyed. I will remember the cheerful chaos of a friterie, the reverent silence of a chocolate shop, the convivial buzz of a brown cafe, and the warm welcome of a local restaurant. The Belgians' love for food is intrinsically linked to their love for good company. Meals are meant to be shared, to be lingered over, to be a reason to come together. This Burgundian spirit, this heartfelt appreciation for the good things in life, is perhaps the most wonderful ingredient in the entire Belgian recipe. It is a philosophy that turns every meal into a small celebration. As I took my final bite, I felt a deep sense of contentment and gratitude. I had come to Belgium to explore its cities and countryside, but I had found its soul at the dinner table. The country had fed me, not just with its delicious food, but with its generosity, its pride in its craft, and its joyful spirit. My endless journey had reached its delicious conclusion, leaving me with a suitcase full of memories and a heart full of warmth. The taste of Belgium would linger on my palate for a long time, a sweet and savory reminder of a small country with a very big heart. As my time in Belgium drew to a close, I realized the true measure of a journey isn't in miles, but in moments that take your breath away, the quiet shifts in your heart, and the joy of paying attention to the world around you. Belgium showed me that adventure is about opening your heart to wonders right in front of you. The greatest journeys fill your soul with quiet joy. Before I came to Belgium, I pictured cobblestone streets, medieval architecture, and chocolate. But the real surprise was how familiar it all felt. The warmth of the people, the simple joys of daily life, and the gentle landscape. Belgium didn't feel foreign. It felt like coming home to a place I never knew I missed. Every journey has its challenges, and Belgium was no exception. From language mix-ups to getting lost in winding streets, I faced small hurdles daily, but each mistake brought kindness from locals and a chance to learn. Slowing down, savoring moments, and finding my way became my small victories. In the end, these little struggles became my favorite stories and souvenirs. Travel changes you, often in quiet ways. My journey through Belgium wasn't dramatic, but it taught me to find beauty in subtlety, to trust myself, and to slow down. In peaceful towns and historic fields, I grew more confident and grateful for life's small moments. It was a quiet growth, but a profound one. As I prepare to leave, my mind is a beautiful jumble of images, sounds, and flavors from my Belgian adventure. A rich tapestry woven from precious memories. Grand cityscapes, cozy cafes, the taste of a warm Liège waffle, and the sound of the last post in Ypres, all blend together. These vibrant moments are my most valuable souvenir, a tapestry I'll carry with me, always ready to bring a smile and warmth to my heart. Of all the beautiful sights and delicious foods I experienced in Belgium, the memory that shines brightest is the quiet, genuine kindness of its people. From a stranger offering directions to an elderly woman sharing tea during a rainstorm, these small acts of warmth transformed my journey. In Belgium, kindness truly is everywhere. My journey to Belgium is complete, but the road goes ever on. The lessons, memories, and joy I found here will shape me long after I return home. Every place has a story, and Belgium's has inspired me to keep exploring. The world is wide and my heart is open. The adventure continues. My journey to Belgium has come to an end, but its wonders will stay with me forever. From the golden Grand Place and Bruges Fairytale canals to the quiet dignity of Flanders fields, every place left a mark on my soul. Belgium, with its rich history, delicious food and warm people, is a small country with a very big heart. Thank you, Belgium. This has been my story, my personal journey through the beautiful and surprising land of Belgium. I have tried my best to share with you the sights, sounds, and tastes that captured my heart. But the wonderful thing about travel is that every journey is unique. The path I walked is just one of countless paths that can be taken. Now, I want to extend an invitation to you. Perhaps my story has sparked a little bit of curiosity in your own heart. Perhaps it has made you think about a place you have always wanted to visit, whether it is Belgium or somewhere completely different. The world is full of amazing places, each with its own stories waiting to be heard. I would be so delighted to hear about your own adventures. Where has your heart led you? What small moments of kindness or beauty have you discovered on your travels? Please share your stories in the comments below. I believe that when we share our travel experiences, we build bridges of understanding and inspire each other to explore this incredible world with open eyes and an open heart. Your story might be the spark that encourages someone else to pack their bags and set off on their own journey of discovery. Let us create a community of explorers, sharing the joy and wonder that travel brings into our lives. And if you have enjoyed coming along with me on this journey, please consider subscribing. There are so many more roads to travel and so many more stories to tell, and I would be thrilled to have you as my companion on future adventures. The end of one journey is simply the beginning of the next. The most important thing is to never lose your sense of wonder. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep being curious. Whether you travel to the other side of the world or simply explore a new neighborhood in your own town, there is always something new to discover. So, what are you waiting for? The world is a vast and beautiful book, and it is waiting for you to turn the next page. Go out and find your own charming cities, your own beautiful countryside, and your own delicious feasts. Create your own tapestry of memories, make connections, embrace the challenges, and savor every precious moment. The road is calling, and your own endless journey is just waiting to begin. Thank you for sharing this one with me. The adventure continues for all of us. Happy